Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a golden retriever. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the top part of the body. An easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then just connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. You don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. On the bottom right side, draw another circle as a guide for the lower section of the body. Draw the two circles roughly the same size. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. Above the first circle, draw a smaller circle as a guide for the head. Make this circle about half the size of the first circle. Place this circle slightly to the left of the first circle. Inside the head, draw a curved horizontal line. This is a construction guide that will help you place the facial features. Above that, draw a short vertical line for another construction guide. On the bottom half of the head, draw a small circle as a guide for the muzzle. Make this circle about half the size of the head. The bottom edge of this circle should be outside of the head. On the sides of the head, draw a couple of angled lines as guides for the ears. The ears should be similar to triangles. Make the ears big in relation to the head. Starting on the bottom right side of the first circle, draw a long vertical line as a guide for the front leg. Bend the bottom of the line to the left to indicate the foot. To the left, draw another long vertical line as a guide for the other front leg. Starting at the edge of the circle at the bottom, draw a long curved line as a guide for the hind leg. Draw a horizontal line at the bottom for the foot. This guide should be similar to a backward number 2. Connect the head to the body using a couple of short lines to create the guide for the neck. Connect the body circles using long sloping lines to finish the guide for the torso. On the bottom right side, connect the body to the leg using a curved line. To the right of the hind leg, draw another curved line as a guide for the tail. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch two small circles for the eyes. Place the eyes on top of the horizontal construction guide and on either side of the vertical guide. When you get the sizes and positions of the eyes right, darken the shapes. As you darken the eye on the left, make the sides pointier for the corners of the eye. The outer corner of the eye should point left toward the ear, and the inner corner of the eye should point down toward the muzzle. In the middle of the eye, draw a small circle and shade it in for the pupil. Next to the pupil, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. Add a couple of curved lines around the eye for creases and fur. Now draw the eye on the right the same way. Darken the shape, but make the sides pointier for the corners of the eye. Draw a small circle in the middle for a pupil, and then add a tinier circle on the side for a highlight. draw a few curved lines around the eye for creases and fur. It's okay if the two eyes aren't perfectly symmetrical. Inside the muzzle, lightly sketch a small oval for the nose. Place the nose slightly higher than the center of the circle. When you get the size and position of the nose right, darken the shape. Curve the sides of the nose inward to create the nostrils. Inside the nose, draw a couple of small circular shapes for the nostrils openings. Draw a short vertical line on the bottom half of the nose. Make the bottom half of the nose a bit thinner. Below the nose, draw a short angled line for the mouth. This line should be similar to an upside down letter V. Make the sides of the line longer to finish the shape of the mouth. Make the line thick and dark. Draw the sides of the line lower for the loose skin on the mouth. Below the mouth, draw a short horizontal line for the chin. On the sides of the chin, draw a couple of curved lines for the loose skin on the lower jaw. Use the angled line on the left side of the head as a guide to draw the first ear. Darken the basic path of the guide, but make the shape of the ear more curved. Use broken lines as you draw the shape of the ear to create a furry texture. Draw a wavy vertical line along the left side of the head circle for the inner edge of the ear. Draw another vertical line inside the shape for a crease on the ear. Use the angled line on the right side of the head as a guide to draw the other ear the same way. Darken the path of the guide, but make the ear more curved. Add the inner edge of the ear along the side of the circle. Use the initial circle as a guide to draw the rest of the head. Darken the visible edges of the circle to create the shape of the head. Draw a few short vertical lines under the head for the loose skin on the neck. Add a few more short lines inside the head for creases. Use the long vertical line that's under the body on the right side as a guide to draw the front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the leg wide at the top and gradually make it thinner toward the bottom. Curve the bottom of the shape to the left to create the foot. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the right edge of the leg to create a furry texture. Add a few short strokes inside the leg too. Draw a curved line on the tip of the foot to separate the toes. On the tips of the toes, draw tiny triangles for the nails. Use the line to the left as a guide to draw the other front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. The top part of this leg will be hidden behind the body, so don't draw that section. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Add a curved line at the bottom to separate the toes. Use the long angled line to the right as a guide to draw the hind leg. Draw a curved line at the bottom to create the foot. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the line when you get the shape right. On the tip of the foot, draw a couple of curved lines to separate the toes. On the tips of the toes, draw tiny triangles for the nails. Darken the basic path of the curved line at the top to create the folded leg. Add a few short strokes on the right side for fur. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Make the strokes longer along the underside of the body. Add a few short strokes on the right side of the body for creases on the fur. Below the body, draw a short horizontal line for the visible section of the other hind foot. Add a few short strokes inside the shape to emphasize the furry texture. Darken the guide on the bottom right side for the first part of the tail. Add another curved line that's made up of short strokes to finish the shape of the tail. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. You don't have to erase all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Use a medium value across the entire body. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. To create light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. Use a dark value to shade the areas around the eyes. Shade the nose using a dark value. Leave a thin strip on the nose blank for a highlight. Continue to add a darker value across your drawing. Add a darker value to create shadows. Shadows will give the figure more dimension and volume. Use a light value or leave some sections blank to create highlights. As you shade, use strokes that go in the direction of the fur. On the head, the fur radiates outward from the nose. On the body, the fur mainly has a horizontal orientation. Add thin shapes of dark value across the body to separate the sections of fur. As you shade, separate each stroke a bit so that the white of the paper comes through and creates a furrier texture. Shade the back of the body using a darker value. Darken the final lines to emphasize the shapes. Draw a cast shadow at the bottom using a medium value. If you have a pet dog, try to duplicate its coat pattern on your drawing. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result, and that's it for the dog. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com for more tutorials. That's how and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.